we're ready to start here. I'm going to put the spotlight on Minister Rana's laptop, and please proceed, Minister Rana.
Grand Rising Wose. Grand Rising Wose. We are live here on 89th and Holly, saying Grand Rising to all of you, wherever you might be. I am going to welcome all Wose members, all Wose family here with us and on our Zoom, all friends of Wose. So that would include all visitors, whether it's your first time or your 20th time, whether you're visiting from another church or ministry, we welcome you. We ask you to enjoy our celebration. We thank you for being with us. We welcome you to Wose, and feel free to tell a friend. We'd love to have even more visitors and more of you to come along with us on this journey. Next, we're going to move forward to our affirmation. Our affirmation is going to be brought to us by Mama Afua and Baba Kadabasi, and that will be followed by a song from To Be New Cultural Gatherers. Mama Afua and Baba Kadabasi, please come forward with the affirmation.
Good morning, Wose community, Wose family. It's a pleasure this morning to share this affirmation with Sister Afua. And I would just mention is that each week we do this affirmation. And we do this affirmation to remind each other and to remind ourselves who we are, what we believe, and what we do. And so you should be following along with Sister Afua and myself under the community. If we were in the temple, everybody in the temple would be reciting the community portion aloud. And again, we do this to internalize these affirmations, to give us guidance, to allow us to be as members of the Wose community. It defines us in part as to who we are and what we do and how that separates us from some others. But anyway, now to the affirmation. We will know God's truth and be free and self-determined.
Creator, help us to remember the humanity, glory, and suffering of our ancestors and to honor the struggles of our elders.
Let us strive to bring new vision and life to our people. Let there be peace and harmony among us.
Let us be loving, sharing, and creative. Let us work, study, and listen so we may learn, teach, and cultivate self-reliance.
Grant us power, O Holy One, as we struggle to resurrect our hearts and our homeland.
We will raise our children according to the needs of our nation with discipline, patience, devotion, and courage. We will strive to be the living models of the new direction of our people.
We are an African
people.
We are the children of God.
Ashe.
And now I believe our To Be New cultural gatherers are on the program now. And here they are. Let's spotlight.
Greetings, Wose family. I'm Brian P. Bowling.
And I am Zakia G.E. Capehart Bowling.
And we are the To Be New Cultural Gatherers. Our tribute today will be a tribute to the great entertainer, performer, and activist that recently made his transition. I'm sure we all heard that Baba Harry Belafonte made his transition recently over the last 2 weeks, and it's been announced in the radio and television, magazines. A lot of tributes are going out to Baba Belafonte. And I just wanted to share my screen right quick and show a picture of me meeting Baba Belafonte when I was in college at Morgan State University, and he gave me some advice among the other chorus members that with the Morgan State University Choir. So he was a great musician, a great activist, a great humanitarian, and we would like to honor him today. I would like to do a composition that was made famous by him. It's one of the folklores out of Jamaica. It's called the Banana Boat Song, and another name for it is Deo.
And I have written a poem for Baba Belafonte, and my poem is entitled A Life Well Lived.
Deo, Deo, daylight come and I wanna go home. Me say Deo, daylight come and we wanna go home. Deo, Deo, daylight come and we wanna go home. Deo, Deo, daylight come and we wanna go home. Come, Mr. Tallyman, tally me banana. Daylight come and we wanna go home. Come, Mr. Tallyman, tally me banana. Daylight come and we wanna go home. Work all day on a drink of rum. Daylight come and we wanna go home. Stack bananas till the morning come. Daylight come and we wanna go home. 6 hands, 7 hands, 8 hand bunch. Daylight come and we wanna go home. 6 hands, 7 hands, 8 hand bunch. Daylight come and we wanna go home. Deo, Deo, daylight come and we wanna go home. Deo, Deo, daylight come and we wanna go home.
Remembering Baba Belafonte's elegant, gracious spirit, a precious man of high, noble character, a true warrior for the people, speaking truth to power is how he lived his life, not afraid to tell it like it is, not afraid to take the bold steps needed to educate the people. Demeanor of humility shining through, reaching heights well beyond his physical timber. A life well lived, humble beginnings paved the way for a giant genius. We the people will continue to cherish his music, his films, and his contributions to the nation and world. during the Civil Rights Movement, confidant to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., giving support to him, his family, and the movement, standing strong with Nelson Mandela during the apartheid years, Harry Belafonte's legacy as a humanitarian, outspoken activist, and performer will not be forgotten. A fighter for justice and freedom, celebrator of the human spirit. His life was indeed a life well lived.
Day-o, day-o, daylight come and we wanna go home. Day-o, day-o, daylight come and we wanna go home. Come, Mr. Tallyman, tally me banana. Daylight come and we wanna go home. Come, Mr. Tallyman, tally me banana. Daylight come and we wanna go home. I work all day on a drink of rum. Daylight come and we wanna go home. Stack bananas till the morning come. Daylight come and we wanna go home. 6 hands, 7 hands, 8 hand bunch. Daylight come and we wanna go home. 6 hands, 7 hand, 8 hand bunch. Daylight come and we wanna go home. Day-o, day-o, daylight come and we wanna go home. Day-o, day-o, daylight come and we wanna go home.
Okay, so thank you so much, To Be New. That was a song that I used to hear quite a bit in my household as a kid. Harry Belafonte and several others were one of my mom's favorites. So as kids, I remember learning that song and singing that song. So thank you so much for that particular selection. Next up is going to be our historical tribute. Now's the time that we worship, or I should say, now's the time in our service where we think it's important to keep at least 5 to 7 generations of our history in the minds of our people. We want to show and demonstrate the hand of God moving through the history of African people. And that is because we recognize that when our people, that this is when our people were at their height. It was when they were closest to God. Our historical tribute today is going to be brought to us by Baba Jeff, who is often behind the scenes, but we love it when he comes forward because he gives us some information that makes us think, that makes us reflect, that makes us just feel good. And very often, I know at least I end up going home and wanting to learn more about the person or place or circumstance that he brings forward. So Baba Jeff, if you would please come forward with the historical tribute. Thank you.
I'm in Rod Tip family. Here we go. Amun Ra Tepwose family. Again, it is my honor to give the historical tribute today. The historical tribute is our continuing effort as a community to pay tribute to some significant, not necessarily famous person, place, or event in our history. Our commitment as a community is to keep alive in our hearts and minds at least 7 generations of our story, and be reminded that our ancestors made great and meaningful contributions when they stayed connected to spirit, and that we must continually remind ourselves that if we did great things once before, we can do great things again. It is my pleasure to pay tribute to a most uplifting, inspiring, proud African man and human being, Randall Robinson. Born on July 6, 1941, in segregated Richmond, Virginia, to educators Maxie and Doris Robinson, Randall Maurice Robinson would graduate from high school and initially attend Norfolk State University on a basketball scholarship, but would drop out and join the military. After completing service, he would attend and graduate from Virginia Union University in 1967. He later graduated from Harvard Law School. On a fellowship, honored ancestor Robinson spent time in Tanzania, East Africa, before returning home and working for Congressman Representative William Clay Sr. and Representative Charles Diggs Jr., founding members of the Congressional Black Caucus. Upon completion of his tenure working for the congressman, he, with urging and support from his brother Max Robinson, who would later go on to become the first Black to anchor a major TV news broadcast with ABC, went on to co-found TransAfrica, a research, education, and advocacy group dedicated to global justice for the African world. In 1977, and later on November 21, 1984, following an attempted sit-in with the U.S. Civil Rights Commissioner Mary Frances Berry and Congressman Walter Fauntleroy, would co-found the Free South Africa movement. The nationwide pressure campaign would lead to successful sanctions by municipalities and companies from doing business with the apartheid government of South Africa. This pressure made a significant contribution to the efforts of the African National Congress struggle against the racist regime, and would culminate with the release after 27 years of captivity on February 11, 1990, of Nelson Mandela. In June 1990, Randall Robinson would greet Nelson and Winnie Mandela at the airport in Washington, D.C. in preparation for a tour of the U.S. by the Mandelas. Books by Randall Robinson. The Emancipation of Wakefield Clay. Defending the Spirit of Black Life in America. The Debt, What America Owes to Blacks. The Reckoning, What Blacks Owe to Each Other. Quitting America, The Departure of a Black Man from His Native Land. An Unbroken Agony, Haiti, From Revolution to the Kidnapping of a President. Makeda, a Novel. Speeches and interviews featuring Randall Robinson.
Washington. No, no sound.
Please, it is not.
Family, I can tell that people are saying that they can't hear.
Our brothers and sisters in the diaspora needs to know we are sorry that it happened then.
Now we got it.
Involved.
I'm going to start over because people are saying that they can't hear.
We could not. Feel free to start it over.
Jeff, we couldn't hear right at the start of the speech. So if you start right when he at his speech, that would be a good time to start.
Could you hear him, Brother Jeff? Could you hear him?
Yes. Did you say that you could hear from the very beginning or you did not hear?
Yes, we could, but where the speech is, where he began speaking at a speech,
Cleveland City Club.
That's when we couldn't hear him.
Okay, I'm going to start it right here. I don't know why that would happen, but I'm going to start right here. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to make an effort to address that. So just give me a moment.
We love you, Jeff.
Thank you. I'm gonna mute
While
myself.
he's adjusting that, I just want to say again that Baba Jeff always consistently brings us good information, but technology, until we clone him, is not always 100% in his hands. But one of the things I heard, one of the books that this gentleman wrote was, what was it? What blacks owe to each other, and I immediately wrote that down while we're waiting.
In interviews featuring Randall Robinson.
We hear. Again, no volume.
Might be a Wi-Fi problem.
There's music playing, but you cannot hear what he's saying.
Baba Jeff, I'm gonna say, let's go forward at this time. If there's more after the speech that you would like to show, we would be happy to hear it. And maybe we can come back later in the service and pick the speech up, because I'm sure we'd all really enjoy hearing it. But if there's more after the speech, I would ask if you would go forward to that, or we can go forward to the litany and try to come back and get the speech at a later point.
Our brothers and sisters in the diaspora needs to know
actually, not the litany,
we
the
are
song is
sorry
next.
for what did happen then, those who are involved. Like Mr. Robertson said, they don't know what's going to happen in this part of the world. But now, if Americans or the black in diaspora even do not spoke about it, I know deep in your heart, in your spirit, you know something broke, feels something like animosity against Africans who are back in Africa.
We hear, Baba Jeff.
And some questions came and said, why the Africans do not do anything to help us when we've been taken away? Yes, they may have the thought to do so, but they don't have the strength to do what they can do.
Tavis.
Yes, Randy.
Tavis, I want to say to
King Aid that I am deeply touched by what he has said. And I am deeply moved by what he has said. I think it's significant and I think it's important. But I think we have to remember that on both sides of the Atlantic, we've been victimized here. And again, we have to distinguish the trade from the practice of it in the United States. You can draw a straight line, Tavis, from 1619 to 1965, to the passage of the Voting Rights Act. 346 years of the largest human rights crime committed against a people in the modern age. And America enriched itself at the expense of black people. And so we're saying that America, because the government was involved in this, has a responsibility to make whole the people it victimized, as much the same way Germany had a responsibility.
That the only way we can move ahead constructively with Haiti is to begin by telling the full story of our relationship with Haiti since 1804. What happened in the 19th century and what has happened in the 20th century, so that Americans will understand at long last that Haiti's misery is largely not of its own making. They will learn of a Haitian people who are quite different from those who have been described to them. And I think it is at that point we can make the beginning that we need to make. And so the unfairness of it is seen in the statistics of who pays and who doesn't. We get sentences twice as long for commission of the same crime. It's just fundamentally unfair. And the question, Amy, is how we can put this together in a way that is consumable and inspiring to people, to let them know that this is not just a black or racial issue. It's an issue for all Americans who care about democracy and equity and fair play and decency. And that's what we have to do. We're killing our own country's future, is what we're doing. And we're killing genius in jail cells that does not have a chance to blossom and to flower.
The point of all of this is that people have a history because they need it. People develop cultures and mores and traditions because they need them to stay in good health. That is how we make social progress. Great Jamaican thinker Rex Nettleford once said that living without your story, without memory, is like driving without a rear-view mirror, except it's more dangerous to live without your story. So the point is that we were cut off from all of that and then renamed. When I was a child, we were called Negroes. No one knew what the provenance was of that word, where it came from, what it was supposed to mean. But it was a part of the wall that was built to separate those who were stolen and used and exploited from their African story. And so if everyone in the world needs a story, so did we.
An African proverb says that when an elder dies, a library burns to the ground. The instrumental and productive life grounded in a strong love for black people, African people, assures us that the library built by the life of this honored ancestor consists of a spiritually fortified fire retardant, allowing it to stand strong for generations to come. Randall Maurice Robinson, Ma Keru, True Voice. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe.
Well done, Jeff. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, Baba Jeff. And again, next up are going to be To Be New Cultural Gatherers. And if Baba Jeff can work out that speech again, that I'm sure we would love to hear, then we can bring him back in. But for now, we're going to go forward with our celebrations. I'm sorry. So when we continue cultural gatherings to come forward, and then after that is going to be the litany of sacrifice with Mama Darch and Baba Osai. Thank you.
Yes, greetings, Rose. Our second selection for the day is dedicated to a wonderful pianist and vocalist out of DC. Her name was Shirley Horn. And Miles Davis said about Shirley Horn, Shirley Horn was my favorite singer. Miles Davis quoted that. And Shirley Horn did a beautiful selection that is on YouTube if you want to see it. It's called A Time for Love.
And my poem for this selection is taken from my book, Ghana on My Mind. And my poem is entitled, Greeted by a Rainbow.
For summer skies and hummingbirds and butterflies, for tender words that harmonize with love. A time for climbing hills and leaning out of windowsills, admiring the daffodils above. A time for holding hands together, a time for rainbow-colored weather, a time when make-believe is what we're dreaming of. As time goes drifting by, the willow bends, and so do I. But oh, my friends, whatever sky above, I know a time for spring, a time for fall, and best of all, a time for love.
I come from a place where greeting is paramount, a place where the moon appears full each night, a place where the darkness highlights zillions of luminous, brilliant, radiant stars that kiss the sky and brighten our path through thickness in the woods at the midnight hour. A place where the doors are never locked, even as you sleep. A place where dewdrops halt. At the first note, the songbird sings. A place where porch swings sing a lullaby to passers-by. A place where summer breezes soothes your sneezes. A place where neighbors talk and children walk to play in the early morning sun, greeted by a rainbow. I come from a place where sunlight, moonlight, and starlight are etched on the faces of the people and shine throughout the universe. I come from a place where pyramids are erected in the infolds of the cerebrum, cerebellum, and medulla. I come from a place where experiencing bitter, hot, sour, and sweet are precursors to life's journey. I come from a place where greeting is a way of life. It begins and never ends.
A time for summer skies, for hummingbirds and butterflies, for tender words that harmonize with love. A time for climbing hills and leaning out of windowsills, admiring the daffodils above. A time for holding hands together, a time for rainbow-colored weather, a time when make-believe is what we're dreaming of. As time goes drifting by, the willow bends, and so do I. But oh, my friends, whatever skies above, I've known a time for spring, a time for fall, and best of all, a time for love.
Beautiful. I don't know if you're able to make requests, but if so, can you guys come back with that one sometime in the near future? That was just simply beautiful. Thank you.
We will do that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Next, we're going to have our litany of sacrifice. Mama Darnisha and Baba Ustadi, please come forward with the litany and the understanding of why we do it.
Greetings, everyone. Save us, O Holy One, by your name. Vindicate us by your might. Hear my prayer, divine protector. Listen to the words of my mouth. How can we repay the Holy One for the gift that has been given to us? We will lift up the cup of salvation and call upon the gods of our ancestors. We will fulfill our vows to our Creator in the presence of all our people. Gladly we bring our sacrifices to you. We will praise your name, O Amun-Ra, for it is good. Imani, faith. We will believe with all our hearts in our gods, our people, and the righteousness and victory of our struggle.
Umoja, unity. We shall strive to maintain the unity in the family, community, nation, and race.
Kujichagulia, self-determination. We shall define, name, create, and speak for ourselves.
Ujima, collective work and responsibility. We shall build and maintain our communities together. Our brothers and sisters' problems shall be ours to solve together.
Ujamaa, cooperative economics. Together we shall build and maintain our own business and together profit from them.
Kuumba, creativity. We shall do as much as we can in any way we can to leave our community more beautiful and beneficial than we inherited it.
Nia, purpose. We shall make our collective vocation the building and development of our community and the restoration of our people to our traditional greatness. Amun-Ra.
All right, there should be some information coming up on the board soon from Brother Bill on how you can make a contribution to our incredible organization, Woze, Community of the Sacred African Way. You can send it the old-fashioned way through snail mail to either of the addresses listed on the screen in Sacramento or to Oakland, or you can go to either of those websites, Woze, www.wozestack.com, and there will be a nice clear link for you to go and make payments in a number of different ways. You may also go to www.wozecommunity.org, follow the link that says donate, and you'll also get a couple of different options of how you can make a contribution to the upkeep of our incredible community. I think that Baba Ustadi is going to lead us in a prayer. Thank you for your contributions, family.
Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, thank you once again for all of the people that are with us at this particular time. We say in prayers for the donation that they have given that will sustain us. We say prayers for those who have something, those who do not have something, those who want to give something. But most of all, we give thanks and praises for those who are here today. We say a special prayer for Sister Tony and her son, because we know God has the answer to everything. In the name of our Holy One, Amun-Ra, say Ashe, Ashe, Ashe.
Ashe, oh, Ashe, Ashe. Ashe, Ashe, oh. Got Makalisi in the house and I'm feeling him. I'm feeling my hearing messages and hearing Minister Makalisi in the background, in the foreground, in the sideground with his Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. We are going to bring forward my brother in the ministry, Minister Malley. He has a message for us today. So I ask that you all open your minds, unlock that door to your Septepi powers. Open your eyes, open your ears, open up the essence of who you be and who we be in this time as one, as we hear together these words. Let them resonate through all of us. Ashe. Just one time, Minister Malley. Just one time. That's right. Minister Malley, please bring us the message. Ashe.
I must say, let us all wake up. I don't know about y'all, but I feel there's a need for a wake-up call for folks to be enlivened. This is a celebration. Anytime our folks are allowed and able and willing to come together, to be together, to share, worship, and celebrate, that's an occasion we ain't supposed to take lightly. We ain't just supposed to sound somber and sedate. I don't know about y'all. I might not be that many young in years, but I'm a whole lot young in spirit. I bet I'm not the only one. I would hope that there are some folks in the place and also online on Zoom who are ready to lift their spirits, to be energized, to be activated. I know I didn't ask my ancestors to join a soft party, a slow roll. I invited my ancestors to come somewhere where it's going to be energetic. It's going to be loud because we're celebrating a great day. So y'all with me this morning? Y'all with me this afternoon? Okay, y'all. You're with me too. Let us come together. Most definitely, most precious creator, giver of all life, humbly I submit myself before thee. Humbly I come before you to just offer myself a willing spokesperson for your spirit, for your words. Move me out the way. Lift me out of the spot and let you come forward with a message for people who are always in need of your presence. Ashe, Ashe, Amen. Now, I'm going to try to share with you something. It's going to be a little bit of a challenge because when I speak it out, you know, it always sounds good when you're laying it out, when you're writing it, but you never know what happens when it comes out of the mouth. But I'm trusting the divine to make it work. Today, this morning, I want to talk about relationships. Is that okay with y'all? Healthy relationships. Not just no any relationship, but healthy relationships. So let me read from my book, Guiding Principles of Moral Living, page 235. And it's under the headline of Family and Relationships. Mehut Ha'u. First, love, marry, and care for children, because the good of the family outweighs the individual. Let me say that again. The good of the family outweighs the individual. Now, I know that might end up being a bit of a controversial type of statement. And a lot of times when we're in these church houses, we tend to lean a lot on scripture and not a whole lot on the real world experience of ourselves. It ain't no sin and ain't no shame to admit we are challenged when it comes to relationships. That we can be holy of holies, the high of the highs, and yet still be challenged when it comes to healthy relationships. So there are three little aspects that I want to share with you today, and let's see how that relates to the principles that we're always talking about when it comes to Nguzo Saba and Ma'at. All right, I say, told you it's gonna be a big bite. So first, those three things I want you to pay attention to. It says in Mehud Ha'u, love first, marry and care for children. And I'm gonna change it a little bit and go from first love, be bonded, and care. Y'all feel me? All right, so first love. Let's talk about that real brief, real simple. Because we're not talking about just romance. We're not just talking about a feeling, but we're also talking about a demonstrated expression between folks. First, love. I know that might go against the modern era because these days we get these impulses. We see something, we see somebody, and we get feelings. You know how young folks say, I'm in my feelings. And when they're in your feelings, love is not that deep. Love just stops really at the feelings. But in a healthy relationship, first love means it goes beyond just a feeling. Ashe? It is also the foundation for a healthy relationship. Now, I'm not going to do an Oprah Winfrey setting of, you know, who dates who and who we should be with. I'm not there. What I'm talking about is a message about the spiritual foundation of healthy relationships. First, love. And in that first love, there's a biblical phrase about love bears all. Ain't that something? We'll get back with that. And then I changed married to be bonded. Because everybody may not be actually married, but everybody in a relationship should be bonded. See, even in some biblical circles, they say things like evenly yoked. Bonding is a connection between individuals, groups, families, agency, all the type of relationships we have, and then it begins. Oh, you thought I was telling you the whole. No, we're talking about it begins with the bonding process. People are coming together, and then they should be interacting, engaging with one another. Come on with me now. You build a bond. And if any of y'all are familiar with the building process, it's more than just having tools. It's more than just having equipment. It's more than even having a plane. It's about the process of bringing things together so you end up with a favorable product. Yeah, see, a lot of us are so engaged with having a relationship and not engaged with what is the outcome of having that relationship. Are you bonded for a reason? Are you bonded for a goal? Or are you just together? I ain't gonna say nothing to none of you. I ain't gonna make no accusations. Don't send me no offline responses yet. And then this third thing, care. Now, a lot of us use the expression, I care a lot. But what do you really mean? See, care from a spiritual standpoint is something that is ongoing. And care can be challenged. See, because if any of y'all been parents or been in the having to care for another, it ain't all smooth. It ain't all. Sometimes it curves. Sometimes it goes and it drops. It goes back up. And it's an ongoing relationship. And there are times when you really want to say, heck with those relationships. And there are other times when it feels so good. Yet, care is not based on whether it feels good or feels bad. It's based on another C word, commitment. See, when you care for children, you ought to make it understand. It means a commitment that will involve with some ups, like some rewards, some celebrations, and then some evens, where it's just thankful to be awake today, and we're both alive. And it's then some drops. It's then some down. It's then some challenges. It's then some barriers. It's then real life showing up. And you can't just read the manual. You can pick up the Bible, you can pick up the Lucia, you can pick up a whole bunch of documents, but sometimes the only thing that gets you from point A, B, C, D is endurance and that D word that Mark Lisi likes to say so much, diligence. It takes effort. It takes work. And if you ain't committed, you ain't gonna hang. No matter how good your intentions are. Love first, be bonded, and care. Y'all still with me? Yeah. Y'all still with me? Yeah. Love demands a connection. You just can't be around. You can't be in the same house. You can't even just be in the same bed. Right? Yes. See, love demands more than just being there. It demands a presence that has to sit there when things are comfortable and when they ain't. Love is also a commitment that over time, it's measured in a success about what it produces. See, if it produces some healthy things, some healthy outcomes, you are successful. And you really ain't finished with that till you really transition from that. But I ain't gonna talk about the end. Let's just talk about the end. See, first, love. And that means a connection to this relationship. You gotta be there. And then we have the bonding. See, people to people bonding for people like us who are ministers. Boy, there are times when we would really like to step into a closet somewhere and say some unministerial type of things about some folks. And it ain't always just other folks. Sometimes it's other ministers. Did I say that? Not here, though. Not here. Not here. But there are other places that are even the folks who we work with make being committed an obstacle in itself. See, the thing about commitment is that either you are going to be there or you're not. Can't be half in, can't be half out. The truth is, if you're not all the way in, you're not in at all. No pieces. And then the care. Especially if you think about caring for others, that means also you are not the primary entity. Let that sit with you for a second. I know, now at least me, I love it when it is all about me. I really do. Any of my family members will tell you, all my sisters know, I have not a problem with being spoiled. I have not a problem with being the center of attention. I have it, and my cousins will even tell you. They may not see me every day, but they see me enough to know I am okay with that. So I'm only gonna talk about me. I ain't gonna talk about y'all. But I would say the challenge of care starts with you are the only person to be cared for. That in fact, a healthy relationship means care is mutual. See, I care for you. You care for me. And that's a spiritual principle because reciprocity demands that it be an exchange. It cannot be martyrdom. It cannot be, I give it up all and I ain't getting nothing back. That ain't for humans. Just say that. It ain't for humans. That's in the area of the divine. Yet we are called spiritually to care enough that I care for you and you also care for me. And that's why it's a healthy relationship. Y'all still with me? Yeah. I know everybody hit some toes, but understand, that's what we talked about this morning. Healthy relationships. When it comes to the aspect of first love, it engages patience, persistence. Yeah. See, patience and persistence. Sometimes when we're in relationships, the first time we meet ain't always the best time. We don't know where someone else is. You know where you are on the journey if you're lucky. You might not know where the person you're meeting is. So it takes patience and persistence to continue to love, be bonded, and care. You don't get it automatically, and you don't get it just because you want it. It's because I start with me. See, I bring my love, my bonding, and my care for myself to the relationships. And a lot of times, especially when sisters are dealing with brothers, they tend to bring theirs and don't demand he bring his. Oh, y'all didn't hear me. See, a lot of times we settle, and it ain't settling because the difference in income. It's a difference in development. It's a difference in appreciation. It's a difference in maturity. There's differences, but the issue isn't the difference. The issue is, what are we sharing at the table? I can't really love somebody who's absent from the relationship and unwilling to share themselves. You ain't supposed to stay a mystery.
Not stay one.
You might walk to the table, I don't know all your stuff, but once you're at the table and I ain't being real about who I am, and you ain't being real about who you are, and that's why these modern day relationships end up with certain tragedies, and these families going, never thought you would have did X, Y, and Z. And you probably wouldn't have thought it because you didn't bother to. Because the challenge is, if I believe I am who I am, and I love what that is, then I want somebody coming to beat me there too. Stop making relationships projects, programs. In bonding, you work together. Nobody works for you. They work with you. I'll say it again. Everyone should be working together, not for someone, but with someone and others. And care. Responsibility and accountability are the mainstays of care. See, I got to be responsible for who I am and what I do. It doesn't mean I should be ashamed of who I am and who I do. And anybody I'm in a relationship with should not offer judgment that leads to shame. It only should offer accountability and allows me to own who I am. And like the good old saying, when people show who they are, believe them. Don't walk into some type of denial Believe what you see and you hear.
That's right.
Especially what
That's
you
right.
see.
That's right. Believe it,
Yeah,
brother.
come on, that sound. I hear you real well. And accountability. See, and I learned this from a couple of Virgo friends of mine, particularly Baba Tai, but also my sister in ministry. They are really accountable, and they want you to be accountable too. And see, that's a part of the dynamic. Don't just be happy because you come in on time. Also demand people who you deal with be on time too. Now, I'm not responsible for whether or not you do it, but I should be accountable that if I think this situation is important, that a relationship is valuable, then I'm going to be accountable and you should be too. Come on now. So my last piece. I hope people are still with me. Yeah, I know probably some people running around the room now, but understand.
Yes, sir.
There is a principle that we are always talking about, that we are supposed to be engaged about. Come on in, young guy. That has to do with our ability to have healthy relationships. And it's also a way to analyze and review and measure whether or not we have a healthy relationship. And that's what we're trying to have. Okay? The Nguzo Saba really does make it simple for us, because those principles aren't just for the community. They're not just for an organization. They're not just for a political group. They are for individuals, families, and communities, because those are all the building blocks of who we're trying to be and whose we're trying to be. You can't do this as a solo out. If your end result is you're the only one in the room, I think you might reconsider what you're doing. And the only time when it's time for people to show up and you're the only one showing up, you might want to reconsider what you're doing and how you're doing it. The principles of Nguzo Saba have to start with unity. Composure. You got to get together. And that means also you as an individual and the families and communities you're engaged in. But a lot of folks want to go, yeah, our unity, and don't start with themselves. If you're in chaos, if you're disordered, if you're out of place, how would you expect the rest of your world and your relationships to be? Self-determination. You should be able to define who you are, what you're bringing to the table. Well, who are you when you come to the table? What are you when you come to the table? See, can you be honest? Can you look in the mirror and understand and acknowledge who is there? If you think it's perfection, fine. But I would think if it was perfection, none of us would have anything to complain about. Yet we do. You might not tell me, but I bet you're saying it to someone if you ain't mumbling it to yourself. Self-determination means I get myself together first. First, I love myself. Then I can love others. Collective, Ujima. Together. A team always succeeds best when it works together. Now, if I have a difference about how I do what I do, it should work in unison with who I work with. We ain't all got to look alike. We ain't all got to talk alike. We definitely ain't all got to be alike. But we do have to work in harmony, because the end result is peace. The end result is success. The end result is what everybody came together for in the first place. And then cooperative. See, if we all sitting in the room, that doesn't automatically mean we're cooperating. Cooperating means sometimes, even if I believe I'm right, I accept We just got to do it the way the group or the majority demands. If the community is our ultimate yay or nay, then that means personally, even though I think my ideal is great, even though I think this is the way it should be, I'm going to submit to where the community is. Because if I lead a community, I'm on my own. And I don't think that's divine. I don't think that's what the Creator wants. Leadership means, how do I take my vision and merge it with the community? Y'all don't feel me. And then there's Nia, purpose. What drives us is understanding why. See, a lot of the internal confusion is about not having clarity about why. Why am I doing what I'm doing? And why, when I be honest with myself, it just don't feel right. See, because we have a piece of the Creator in us. There's a conscious placed by the divine that even if you're not always conscious about it, you know it's going on. So that when I'm in a situation, even if it's not familiar, there's something operating that says, this really ain't where I should be. And that could be in our relationships one-on-one. It also could be in our families. It also could be in our communities. At a certain point, can we elevate our purpose? And it be not my agenda, but our agenda. Okay. And now you talk. Two more. Boomba, creativity. That's where we get to be individuals. This is what they call something that doesn't seem the same and appears the same, yet works together. Sometimes when you speak it, they call it a play on words. See, in creativity, I do my thing as an individual. I have my own personal style. But it never takes me out of being in harmony with the group. See, if you're an artist, like a singer, musician, you know what I'm talking about automatically. Because if I'm singing a solo song, let me belt it out. I still got to be in harmony with the music, the instrumentation, the notes, yet the best ones, the strongest ones, sing in a way that it goes along with other voices. They got sopranos and altos and baritones and basses. But boy, doesn't it make a beautiful choir? Doesn't it make a powerful song when all of those voices are in unison together? Creativity says we ain't all got to do it just alike, but we have to be united within it. That somehow, because our purpose is the same, we're looking for the same outcome, we're looking for the same goal. We might have a difference in how I want to look when I come to the altar. I'm dressing the way I like. But when I bring my message, when you bring your message, when you bring your talents, when you bring your skills, we find a way for it to fit. I don't need y'all to just do what I say do. Y'all do, as long as we're working on the same goal. And creativity allows us to still function as individuals. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. So we ain't got to be robots. We ain't got to be monolithic. We ain't got to come here everybody wear the same colored hat. We ain't got to come in here and everybody in the time. That means that though the look, the style may differ, but it's not divided. And it's all held together with the spiritual bond of Imani, faith. And notice that's not religious. I can stand with any denomination as long as we're sharing a goal. If we're looking to bring people together and not figure out ways to separate, to divide, to bring conflict. See, then religion things won't keep us apart. What will hold us together is the faith that one, we all want to get to a better place. And two, I don't see you as an obstacle to get there. Well, see, my hat said amen. Understand, you're not my enemy. I can let you become an obstacle, but the only reason why is because of me, not you. See, you're where you are. If I'm clear and I have faith, I recognize those things that go along with what I'm doing based on the underneath and not the outside. And that keeps me as a good God. It doesn't mean I'm friends with everybody. Let's not make that mistake. So don't go back telling people, I say, yeah, no. Understand, there's some folks that ain't gonna be with me. There's some folks that may not agree with me. But all the folks who are headed for that same goal, I'm with you. Because we succeed. I struggle. You and I have to have a healthy relationship for us to succeed. Y'all feel me? But that's see, I alone struggle. You and I, we succeed because us gets the spirit of the divine, which reaches in and lifts us up. So, the building blocks of a healthy relationship. Love, because you are unified. Bonded, because you are self-determined, identified. You care collectively and cooperatively. You love because there's a purpose to what you're doing and what you're not doing. And then there is bonding because there's a creative engagement that we must be active in. We can't be observers. We can't watch other folks get down. We have to be participants. And then we care. We care because faith tells us, how can I forgive if I don't forgive myself first? How can I really care about you if I don't care nothing about me? All together, we practice it every day so that we get better and better at it every day. That's how we measure it. It ain't taking no mentioning on the 7 o'clock news. It doesn't mean we're gonna have a whole lot of plaques on a wall. It doesn't mean we get a special award after 25 years of service, but it does mean that the success feeds to itself. And much like we'll say, there's a 40 years later, and it could be another 40 years. It all matters what we're doing right now. Right now. Right now. Stay.
I stay.
Stay.
I stay.
Amen.
Amen. I stay. I say. Right. What am I going to say? Right now, in this moment, in this hour, this day, this time of your life, right now. How many times have you said, I shoulda, woulda, coulda? How many times have you said, I thought about that idea 89,000 times, but I never did nothing, and now I'm looking at it on TV? How many times did you say, I had that idea, I had that thought? How many times, how many times, how many times? Right now is what the brother said. right now. I know one thing I can say, and it's the way it is that we don't have too many 20-year-old and younger in our group. Bob, Sister Jalea, I see you out there. I see you. I see you. I count you too, and I do see you. And the little baby of David and Latrice, I see you out there. I see you out there, young ones. And there's a few more that are out there. But I'm saying that to say, for those of us who are in the 50+ group, right now, you don't even get the now. Sometimes you just write. You better get on it. You better get on it. So we are open to receive and welcome any of you who are with us today and a part of this celebration, who are appreciating what you are hearing, who are appreciating a place where you can come and learn. How many of you today, when he said we're going to talk about first love, your brains went left, right, and upside down and inside out? What are we about to talk about? Well, what we're going to talk about is what we need as a community in order to move forward. What we're going to talk about is what we need in our families in order to be closer together, in order to work together, in order to move our families closer together. What we're going to talk about is what we need in our relationships in order to be aware, in order to have discernment, in order to join hands, in order to have a purpose. What we're talking about are the tools to help us to move upward and onward right now. Right now. We're going to give you what you need. If what you heard today or any other day that you might have visited, you're thinking to yourself, you know what? I need to just go on and get with this community. I like what they have to say over there at Wose. I want to know more about this way they keep saying, Wose, the way. What is that? Well, come on, right now. Come on and find out. Come on and find out. Now, I'm going to ask some of my elders or council members out there to put your screens on gallery just for a moment so you can take a look, see if anyone is raising their hand, which you can feel free to do, or you can put your name in the chat and say, I'd like to learn more about Wose. I'd like to become a member of Wose. I'd like to be a part of this community. Put your name out there right now, right now. You can put it up and say, I want to learn more. I have questions right now. Take that first step. I have questions right now. Right now, we got answers for you right now. I can tell you that much. I'm going to give just another moment. I was really moved by today's message myself because there's so many applications to what the minister said, Ashe. So many applications, like he said, start with yourself, your own Black self. Start with your own Black self and say, how is my relationship with myself? Then take a look at your immediate environment. How am I doing to my left and to my right? How am I doing with the people within the household where I live? How am I doing with my neighbors? How am I doing with that Wose place, people, folks? How am I doing with those other ministers? There's 9 of them. That's a lot of people to get along with. There's 9. Help me, Rob. Woo, right now. Right now. All right. If you did not put your name into the chat to say you'd like more information or you'd like to join us, we will be here next Sunday. And if you can't wait till next Sunday, if you decide on Tuesday that right now is right now, then you go on to WoseSacramento.com or net, whatever it is, or Wose Oakland, and you say, I'm ready right now. We'll get in touch with you on Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday or Friday, or come on back next Sunday. Because our right now might not be aligned with your right now, but we're going to love you the same, just right now. Next, we are going to have a song, Lift Every Voice and Sing. Robert Jeffrey is going to bring it to us. And again, if while you are hearing that song and you're taking a moment within yourself to let everything that Minister Malley said resonate, reverberate within you, and you feel that right now, come on, put it in the chat. Raise your hand. We'll get you. We'll get to you. Robert Jeff? Minister Makalisi, the mic is on.
We just give thanks and praises for this day of health and strength, this day of worship and celebration, for the message that has been brought to us. Our hearts and souls and spirits have been touched. We're to give thanks and praises for the ancestors who responded to our call to come and be with us. Those ancestors whose perhaps names were not called, but their spirits were called because they saw this assembly of the Wose community in the spirit of Ma. They decided to come and be with us. Ashe. We just want to give thanks and praises for the Most High. Give thanks and praises for our parents and elders. Thanks and praises for those who brought this community in to be. Thanks and praises. We're going to give thanks and praises that we are one people.
One people.
Having one faith.
One faith.
One aim.
One aim.
Having one purpose.
One purpose.
Having one spirit of creativity.
One spirit of creativity.
One God.
One God.
We'll repeat that name of the Most High that our ancestors have used for countless generations before our consciousness, and that we have grown to use here and now. And let us all say, Amen. Remember that we are those
beautiful people on the face of this earth.
Ashe.
Ashe. Ashe.